Australians joining France in the last 16. Just the second time in their history. They did it also back in 2006. Liam, really huge night for them, isn't it?
For them, huge night for Australian soccer. Damien told us before the match started that having played out there, that soccer is not the main sport, but for
Nowhere
the country,
near.
for the country to get out of the group. I'm sure Denmark thought when they saw the draw for the group that they had a great chance of going through with France, and Australia were going to be the minnows in this competition. But what character, what personality. They put their bodies on the line all over the place, and they actually came out in the second half and played properly and thoroughly deserved it. Denmark didn't handle the pressure, I'm afraid. I thought they would because of the quality of player that they had and where they play, their club football. But no, they didn't handle the pressure. They were dismal.
And we were just hearing in the other game, Tunisia had gone a goal up, but there's been a late equaliser there. Griezmann coming off the bench. So it's 1-1 there into stoppage time. French, of course, already qualified, but Tunisia had been in a good position, going a goal up. The French making 9 changes in that team ahead of that game. The Australians, though, I mean, they were the ones who showed the guts and the bravery today.
They did. They were a bit passive, I think, in the first half, like we touched on at half-time, but they definitely came out, and they were the ones with the real intensity and eagerness in their game. This is obviously the goal here, and it's what we talked about at half-time, having that quality when you win the ball back. They do. They release Leckie down the side, and he ends up turning Melee inside out, and it's a brilliant finish. It's the only place it can go in. I'm not sure how much Michael can do about it. Suter, again here, immense, winning the ball back, breaks the line with the first pass, and then it's that quality that they do have. I know everybody talks about Australia, you know, physicality and big, strong boys, but they have quality as well. I saw it firsthand living over there, and you'd have to say, over the course of the 90 minutes, they deserve to win the game. Yes, they have that bit of quality, as do Denmark, but sometimes, Claire, it just comes down to how much you want to stay in a World Cup, and you never got that feeling off Denmark that, here, I'll do anything to go into the knockout rounds, the knockout stages. For me, the Denmark performance, you would say, reflects the atmosphere in the stadium. It was a strange day. You never really, the camera works never pans in on the stadium, nothing. There's a real flatness. You could hear the players speaking on the pitch. It's bizarre, you know, FIFA talk about, oh, we sell an amazing product. Well, I don't think it was today, because to be hearing the players in a World Cup game. But yeah, Danish, bizarre, flat performance, and surprising when they've so much quality, like Liam said. Yeah, they just didn't have the hunger, Liam, did they? And like, time was running out, the pressure ramping up, but still we just saw very lacklustre performance from them. No, they started off the game quite well. Full-backs were getting forward, they were getting plenty of situations, I wouldn't say chances, but plenty of situations where they could have made something of it. But when that goal didn't come, you could see the confidence drain from them. And they just didn't handle that pressure of having to win the game. The Australians were immense as regards defending. The goalkeeper, Matthew Ryan, was tremendous. But you look at the quality of some of the Danish finishing. Look at this here. That was Olsen. This header here, straight out of play. You know, I reckon just that pressure got to them. This was the substitute, Ba. From one side, he kicks the ball out of the other side of the park. No, for me, there'll be a lot of questions asked now in Denmark of the coach. And okay, we highlighted before the game that they were blunt up front, but you know, the quality of the final ball was so poor, and this summed them up. This is right in injury time. Watch this from a header from. Terrible. The other game is still ongoing. Just to bring up to date, VAR did actually rule out that Griezmann goal, so it is still ongoing. But as things stand, Tunisia on course for a famous victory over the French. We'll keep you up to date with that. That's into added time there. But in terms of the Danes, Damien, you study them, you know, for your licence, so you're very much up to date on what's going on with them. But this lack of spark today, like where has this come from? We saw 30 goals in qualifying. We saw them beat the French. They were fancied coming into this tournament. Yeah, I'm not so sure where. They obviously scored a lot of goals over various positions, 30 goals in 10 games. They do lack, let's call a spade, Cornelius, Poulsen, yeah, they got presence, but they haven't got that cutting edge like we were talking about Erling Haaland up top. And as the game wore on today, it was nearly on 30, 35 minutes. Yes, they created a lot of moments, like Liam said, and then they lost belief. They never believed. You're looking at them in the second half going, you turn away from the TV knowing that they're not going to score, and they didn't have that belief either. And they started doing things that they've never done. Again, I studied them, sick of them. But hitting big, long, ugly, diagonal balls to Cornelius, they've never done that. They don't play like that. Deep crosses, 3, 4, 5 bodies in the box, they don't play like that. And maybe that's what desperate men do. They're, 20, 25 minutes to go. They're desperate for a goal to stay in the World Cup, desperate for 2 goals. And they just started doing things that they've never done.
And the Australians had a 6'6" centre-back Suter. He was immense. And, it was meat and drink for him, just knocking the ball into long and up into the box, and he had it time and time again. He headed it away. The Australian defence was terrific.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that just coming up. But just to confirm, the other game is over, and it is a win for Tunisia. Tunisia have beaten France, but that turns out to not be enough for them. But it is the Socceroos who are celebrating into the last 16 with France from Group D. And they really just put their bodies on the line when it mattered tonight, didn't they?
They certainly did, Claire. You can bet your bottom dollar that there was going to be determination in their display today. And this is the Genic in the first half, getting his body in the way. There's that lad Rowles taking it in the chest. They were terrific all the time. And they never really gave the Danes a clear-cut chance.
Yeah, Claire, as bad as Denmark were, I guess, offensively, they were still always going to have to defend their box at times, because Denmark were going to, dominate the ball, which they did for large parts of the game. But listen, sometimes nights like these are the sweet. It's not dominating a game and winning 2, 3, 4-0. It's these, winning by the odd goal and doing anything and everything for your teammate. You can see how close-knit they are. There's our man Suter again, 6'6", as we touched on before the game, tallest man to ever play for Australia, but he put in some performance today. Matt Ryan as well, brilliant. Aaron Moy, it shows how much they're under the cosh there. Calm, technical player, and he's clearing his line. So, listen, sometimes, like I said, it's just how much you want it, and they absolutely deserved it today.
Yeah, so Suter will be heading to the Premier League. Defenders were heroes. Yeah, goal for Matt Leckie at his 3rd World Cup. And that togetherness really did show, didn't it? I mean, a rare win for them over European opposition. First time in 4 years.
Well, you heard him mention the word spirit and work ethic. That's what they're all about. They're not blessed with players that play anywhere important, really. They play in a lot of lower leagues across Europe, and they play in Australia, which is not a great standard of football. But, the Australians have determination and spirit in abundance, and that's what's got them through. But it was a very skillful goal as well, because when he was through, he knew he was on his own. He knew he'd have to do it himself, and he did. He took it one way, took it back the other. And as Damien said, he put it low and hard into the corner that Schmeichel wasn't going to save it.
And he came out better than Christian Eriksen, who we were expecting so much from at this World Cup.
Yeah, disappointed for him. Listen, football aside, I did the game with Liam last year, the Euro 2020. That man, we're all just happy he's alive. But yeah, listen, he's bitterly disappointed he's going home tonight. And the flip side, Leckie, back at Melbourne City now. He's had a really good career over in Europe. He's in his 30s now. I think it's his 14th, 15th goal for Australia. And they're big stats for, like Liam said, not one of the great footballing nations. And like last night, the England game, good to see wingers still making the difference. Foden and Rashford, they swapped wings last night. Finished the game off 3-0. Wingers Union. But the same tonight, obviously first half he played off the right, second half he played off the left. And you could argue Graham Arnold doing that, it made the difference.